Warning. Warning. Sometimes I think I should take this warning down because I think we all know by now, but for everybody who's watching this video, watching my live streams for the first time, yes, there is a warning on my videos, on my live streams. The following live broadcast may contain loud, obnoxious, shrill, and alarming noises that might be considered disturbing, if not outright uncomfortable to listen to, especially if you are wearing headphones. And I am not talking about my voice, you cheeky things, you. I share my office space with an African gray parrot and two parakeets, and I have no control over their behavior while I am live streaming, unlike my regular videos, where I can edit them out as best as I can. So if you are sensitive to loud, surprising background noises, I recommend either not turning your volume up too loud or watching my edited pre-recorded videos instead. I mean, I do have over 200 videos that you guys can watch. So, there's plenty of stuff there on the channel, so you can check everything out. Viewer discretion is advised. Poof. Oh, there we go. So, welcome everybody to another episode of the EgoWorks live stream featuring me, your host, Daphne Lage. I know it's been a couple of weeks since I ran another stream, since I ran an art stream. I just had a lot going on, and so if you're not catching me on other channels, on other shows, it's like it's fine. But yeah, so it's like I figure I'd I'd make the effort, especially since it's July. So so like I said, I am your host, Daphne Lage, and I'm a cartoonist, illustrator, and comic book artist from New York. I have been self-publishing comics since 1992. You do the math, not me. And I am known for the funny animal fantasy adventure Tall Tales, which is currently on Kickstarter in its last week. This campaign ends next Wednesday at around 11:30 a.m. So we are very close to unlocking the second stretch goal. And if we're feeling really, really lucky, maybe we can unlock the last trading card stretch goal and maybe the metal bookmark. I don't know. It's like, a lot can happen in 6 days. So check out the campaign for Volume 4, Tall Tales Thieves Quest, the series that pretty much started it all for me. So like I said, it's on Kickstarter for the next 6 days. So check that out there. And I am also known for my medieval fantasy soap opera drama, EGOMANIACS, Heir of the First Unicorn, which is also going to be dropping on Kickstarter very soon on August 22nd. This is the first volume 1 of the series already. We're at the first trade paperback, collecting issues 1 through 4 of EGOMANIACS, Heir of the First Unicorn. I can't believe it myself, but that's where we're at. So like I said, it drops August 22nd on Kickstarter. So keep an eye out for that. I am also co-host with Nita Lanning on the Rage Into the Vlogs show every Monday and Friday on the Rage Into Network, which you might be catching me on there because I simulcast this show through the Rage Into Network. So if you want to check out our shows, we broadcast twice a week, Mondays and Fridays, starting and ending off your week with an hour-long show of commentary and interviews based on indie comics and art and whatever else we kind of feel like talking about that day. So, where's my overlay? There we go. So in the meantime, you can read both my comics online at Tall Tales, TALSonline.com, and EgoWorks.com, EGOWORKS. And you can check out all my videos on how I make my comics here on YouTube at Daphne Lage, Lage Art. And if you are joining me from regions beyond, from Facebook, from Twitter, wherever you see the link, come on over to my channel. Come on over to the Rage Into network that I am simulcasting through, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, get notified whenever I go live on this channel or on Rage Into or any of our shows on Rage Into. We have plenty of shows there for you to enjoy. But you know what? It's like, look, it's not going to kill you to hit the subscribe button for both our channels. It doesn't cost you a thing. And there's a lot of entertainment value to that. So there you go. Don't miss out. And like I said, all the links to my campaigns are in the show notes below. Oh, and speaking of campaigns, the Oswald Chronicles, If I Were a Few Inches Taller by J.D. Calderon, who is also the writer to Tall Tales, is also on Kickstarter. He has 11 days left on his campaign. He just funded minutes ago. He just funded. So this book will be it is going to be produced, so you don't have to worry about that. So if you're a little concerned about supporting a campaign that you're not sure is going to meet goal, this one met goal. So you can safely pledge to this campaign at your leisure. So yeah, like I said, everything, all the links are in the show notes. And I keep shutting off my overlay. That's annoying. So I just want, so who's in the chat today? So let's see. So we have RJ. Hello, RJ. Yes, that's going to be our topic for today, the Great Copic Wars. Yes. So hey, Patrick is here. Okia Fern is here. Oh, we have a new person here. Croqueta, thank you for showing up. James is here. Hello, James. Welcome. And of course, the ever lovely, ever present, rap goddess herself, Nita Lanning, is also in the chat, hitting it with those links. Thank you very much. Oh, and here is Renee. Thank you. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for checking out the stream today. So a little bit more housekeeping before I get started. So so if you missed it 3 weeks ago, it hasn't been 3. No, it has not been 2. No, it's been a week. It feels long. It feels long. So at the end of June, we did our House of Bob monthly special, and I just want to thank everybody who watched that episode and joined us there. We had a really good time talking about erotic comics, and if you missed that show, you can catch it on the replay, either on this channel or on the Rage Into network. And like I said, just to remind everybody, House of Bob is a special adults only drawing live stream that I do with Nita Lanning. And like I said, it's an adults only program where I do artwork and we have conversations that's not appropriate for the day crowd. We run this show once a month. It's the last Saturday of every month from 10 to midnight. And the next show is going to be on July 30th, I think it is. And our topic for that show is going to be monster boyfriends and other bangable creatures. So we're going to have a fun time with that. We always do. And there's my overlay again. We always have a fun time with those with that live stream. Even though it's technically a dirty live stream, we're all adults about it. It's like, and that's what makes it fun. And we have really good conversations. So it's like, if you want to check out some different artwork that I do, hit the notification bell so that you get notified when we go live with House of Bob. So that's pretty much it for housekeeping. Like I said, it's been it's been a minute. I had a lot going on. June just went by like that, and I'm already looking at my July list. But I think I'm a little bit more successful at starting to get through my July list than I was with my June list. So let's see. So what's on the list so far? So I have. So for those of you waiting, for the Oswald Eagle Raven crossover from the last campaign, I am on my last page for that. Everything else is colored and lettered. I just have to finish. Penciling a segment of the Oswald of this last page for the Eagle Raven Oswald crossover. And the second I'm done with that, everybody will be getting who pledged to both Eagle Raven issue 4 and the Oswald Oswald Chronicles campaign. You will be seeing that in your Kickstarter DMs soon. So I am definitely I know I've been, my schedule's been not exactly the way I want it, but it is getting done. I'm on the last page. That's definitely on the docket. Hopefully by in the next 2 weeks, I'll finally have that done because there's a lot going on. So yes, if you are still waiting for sketch covers from me from those campaigns, I am working on them. Like I said, these 2 campaigns, they are the longest that I've taken to fulfill, and I do apologize for that. And I promise that on the next campaigns, I will make sure to get my inventory count correct so that I'm not waiting for reprints because I forgot a segment of my order to order. So that's what was the delay, but I am working on them. I have everything inked. All the sketch covers are accounted for. And like I said in the show title, it's like I've been breaking out my Copics, and we're going to be coloring sketch covers today. So that's what we're looking at for today. So let's see. So yes, and what I'm also doing too is that I have finally started color correcting Eagle Raven issue 5. I know that I've kind of procrastinated on that book. It's been done since last year. But only now have I started color correcting it. I'm already 1/4 in. I have the first 8 pages done for that book. All it is color correcting. Everything else is ready. It's lettered. It's just color correcting. I'm looking to have that book done and get proofs done before the end of the month. So that's how close I am to finishing this. 6 and 7 are penciled. I started laying out. I started penciling issue 8. Layout / penciling issue 8 of Eagle Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. So yeah. So once I have these flats done for issue 5, it's on to inking issue 6. And just so you know, issue 6, 7, and 8 are already 6 and 7 are already lettered. So again, it's just that the process is going. It's just not as quickly as I would like, but that process is still is happening. So yes, I'm hoping to have issue 5 finished in the next couple of weeks. If I told you were on a commission wait list, I am finally getting through that. I don't usually take I haven't been taking commissions officially lately. There hasn't been any announcement, but for everybody who has contacted me in the past, and I told you that I will put you on a waiting list, I am finally getting to that list. My goal for that is to clear out that list so I can take more commissions officially, so I can start kind of putting that regularly into my schedule. So if you're waiting for me to open up my commission list, stay tuned. That is going to happen soon. I just want to make sure that I finally get through the people that I kind of obligated myself to. I told them I would do it, and now I'm going to start getting through their commissions. And there's a bunch of really interesting ones that I'm looking forward to doing and finally getting to. So yeah, so that's So that's that's what's on the that's literally what's on my July to-do list. All, pretty much everything that I mentioned. So yeah, it's a full list, but unlike June, this list, even though technically it's longer, it feels like I I have a chance of actually accomplishing everything on this list before the end of the month. Um, let's see. So what else have I had? Oh yes. So keep an eye out for Comics Unlimited, which is a British magazine by Glenn Fleming. I have a article that's going to be appearing, I think, it's either the July or August issue that he's setting up right now. So keep an eye out for that issue. And if you go over to my Facebook page, if you're not, if you haven't joined, if you're on Facebook and you haven't, I guess if you don't follow my page, you don't have to ask for a friend request. All my posts on Facebook are public, so you can just follow it and not worry, because I'm really bad at keeping up with friend requests. So just go ahead and follow my page. There is no like hidden posts or anything. So I recently was featured in the Comics Launch blog. Comics Launch is a program run by Tyler James, which is for it is for independent creators, independent comic book creators mostly, and how they can optimize using Kickstarter and their mailing lists to their benefit. And I happened to finally get featured on there because of, I guess, the grand hustle I made for Eager Raven issue 4, and how I got to 6,000. How I made my first $6,000 campaign. And yeah, so if you're running campaigns, if you're running a Kickstarter, go find that article. Like I said, it's on my Facebook feed. Find that article, check it out. And the thing is, what's funny is that I have learned since we did that article, there are several new things that I will be trying out for the next Eager Raven campaign. That is I'm kind of excited to try out, and I don't know. It's going to be an interesting experiment to see whether it works or not. Like I said, like I say in the article, every campaign, no matter how many campaigns I do, I always learn something new from it. And I learned a couple of new things from especially this Tall Tales campaign. So I'm going to be trying out some new things on the next campaign. So stay tuned with that. In fun things, for those of you keeping track, the novel is coming along. For those of you who don't know, I am writing a novel continuation of Eager Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. So where Eager Raven is the main series, that's going to be 15 comic book issues. Pretty much everything after that are going to be illustrated prose stories that I'm going to be releasing. And the first book, and I'm writing the first novel and I'm getting through the first novel, the first draft of the novel that comes after Eager Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn. So for those of you keeping track, my word count is now 50,690. So I am at the butt end of the story. I'm really excited about it to get through this first draft. And I'm really looking forward to having to start picking the brains of my beta readers once I have this finished. There's a couple of things that I'm kind of like still trying to hash out that I'm going to need some feedback on. So I'm looking forward to that. But actually, I'm just really looking forward to finishing just the first draft. I've been sitting on segments of this novel for like the past year and a half, and it's just finally nice. And it's just nice to finally get all those segments together in a coherent story. And because of this book, I wanted to show you guys something. So it took me a while. So one of the things that took me a while on this book, on doing this novel, is formatting. So I knew that I wanted to do a novel. I wanted to do an illustrated novel, but the formatting was kind of eluding me. So when I first did my short story, Eagle Raven, Legend of the Silk Rose, I did it as comic book size so that it matched the trade paperbacks of the comics. Problem is that, JD, especially the writer on Tall Tales, he kept telling me that this is the wrong format for a prose story, even if it is illustrated. So I was kind of going back and forth on it until I committed to continuing the series after the 15 issues in prose. So taking his criticism of the format in consideration and doing some research, I think I finally came up with a format that works, that will work from this point on. So I reformatted Legend of the Silk Rose in what's going to be the standard format from now on for all my illustrated novels. So as you can see, it is a standard 6x9, and it's going to be smaller than what I've been putting out already. So what I'm going to be doing is that I have a small backstock of this format. And then once this is sold out, once this sells out, I will be switching over to this format. So it's a little bit thicker, right? Also, it's like I follow more standardized, I guess, like interior typeface rules for it. So, and also I went full bleed with the illustrations, and it looks so much better than what I was trying to do with the larger version, which, I had like little, it looks like that with the frame, the images in a frame, as opposed to full bleed. So this is going to be the new format for everything that's going to be illustrated prose. So I'm really happy with this. I think it was the motivator that I needed to get the novel underway, because now I know what the final product is going to look like. So I'm really happy with this, and and I'm really looking forward to getting getting the books out that way right now. But it's going to be for a bit, because the 50, I still have to get through the 15 issues in comic book format, so we still have to get through that, right? So let's see. So hey, yes, there's always hold on, let's see. There's always more. Yes, yes, Nicholas. I'm trying to get I'm trying to get my schedule put together. And yes, oh hey Pops. Yes, so I mean, look, I know, look, keep sending me those links to the Saturday show. I one of these days I will finally make it onto the stream, the sketch stream that Rich does. So it's just that this past weekend we had a convention. That's why I didn't make it. So so just keep sending the links to me, and I swear one of these days I will come back to to the House of Crom. Let's see, what do we have here? Oh, okay. So Nita put a link also to the article that I was talking to you about on Comics Launch. It's also in the chat. Oh, and hello, Joe. Welcome to another stream. And yes, thank you. It's like, yes, this is. I figure, it's like I have the parrot here. I might as well dress to match. So yeah. So. Well, I haven't gotten to the editing stage yet. It's like I'm still, it's like I'm still, I still have to see what my beta read, how far I go in the beta reads, and yes, I'm pretty sure everybody recommends Brian K. Morris. The thing is, but the thing is that kind of like makes me the most nervous, but also like I really, really want to pick his, like, see how he interprets the novel. I'm really looking forward to JD reading this. Um, it's like, because what little that I've spoken to him about, because there was like this whole scene that I was having a problem with, and I just like overcame my BS and spoke to him about it. And the ideas that he was tossing at me trying to solve this problem was like, I need you to read my novel. It's like, I need you. I need you to go through this, with me. It's like, I know JD is intimidating to a lot of us, but it's like, but I am looking forward to, like I said, there are still like certain little things that I'm having like kind of issues with, but I'm able to power through just to get the first draft done. And I'm really looking forward to seeing like what he has to say about that and what ideas that he has about it. So, yeah, it's like, yes, I am a slave to my unicorn princess, and I am more than happy to be that. 50,000 words, yes. And it's like, well, I wouldn't say it's it's my opus. It's just, it's going to be one of many. Let's just say it's like, um, oh, and thank you, Nicholas. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I've been, it's especially when it's like really humid and stuff. These shirts seem to work the best for me. Yes, it is an actual novel, and it's going to have illustrations, which just like you see, just like I showed in that proof. Um, and well, I hope not. I hope not. For 50,000 words to 250, I don't quite think so. I don't think it'll be that bad. You know, um, but at least you finished it. Yeah, at least you finished it. That's the hard part. I mean, a lot of people kind of get stuck in world building. That it's like, I've seen people where it's like their world build, that all they're doing is world building, and they never get to the novel. So the fact that you have a finished novel, you're already ahead of a lot of people who say that they want to write a novel. So congratulations on that. Yeah. It's right. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I'm really liking working in prose. I like the fact. I mean, comics is a completely different medium. I do enjoy it. I like the visual aspect of it. Oh well, well, that's the other story. That's the other novel. So, and honestly, for this book, um, it's good if you had to choose one section, and yeah. So say the fact that you got a novel done, is kudos to you. Um, so what was I saying? It's like, yeah, it's like, yeah, I'm really looking forward to, yeah. So comics is its own thing. I really enjoyed the visual medium of it. I love drawing out the characters. I love telling the story like that. But this the there's so many more stories after these 15 issues, that at the point that I'm at, it's actually impractical for me, short of hiring a small army of people, which I'm too I'm too selfish with Eager Raven to do that. So short of doing that, I cannot do this I cannot do everything else as a comic. So um, but I can do illustrated prose novels, which I'm very happy to do, because I always like the fact that prose allows me to expand on certain things that I couldn't do in the comic, because with comics you kind of have to be really hyper focused to tell the story, or else it's just going to bloat up, and it's like. But with a novel, you could just keep going. You could just bring in certain things, and it fits in, and it's in the context of a novel, it works. So I'm really happy to be able, and also it's like, handling certain themes, that certain things, as Nita alluded to, that I could do in a novel that would cause me grief in a comic. So it saves me a lot of it's just a novel gives me a lot more freedom to tell the story that I really want, that comics, that after the 15 issues, I really am not going to have. But and also the thing is too, is that as much as I really like doing a color series, doing full color comics, I really miss pen and ink work. I really miss doing those black and white illustrations, and I'm looking forward to going back to that, and telling my story through those illustrations. So so I'm really happy that a lot of you are interested in what I'm doing and following me along with the novel. It's probably going to be a little bit a departure from the comics, but in a good way. There you go. So that's you guys are nuts. You guys in the chat. I mean, it's like, Joe, it's like, look, you're one of the betas, so you're gonna find out. And it's like, no, it's like, we do not have discussions like that. We do not kink shame in Ego Raven. So we do not kink shame anywhere on this channel. So no. It's like, look, it's like, you know what? Writing this novel and the scenes that I have in there are going to be awkward enough for me. But I think once everybody kind of like, gets through it, and I get over it, then it's like, it'll, we can we can move on the way we should with it. So like I said, there are things that I'm able to do in the novel that I can't do. Like I said, it would be too much of a headache to do in a comic, and I just think I kind of like can do it a little bit better in a novel anyway. So so there you go. So as Sam would say, the chat acting up. Stop acting up. The chat is acting up. So here we are. Okay, so we're already at the first. We're hitting at the first half hour. So that's pretty much it. That's going on with me. My creative endeavor so far. And yeah. So like I said, today is Copic Day. So, like I said, so with all the sketch covers that I've been doing for these campaigns, I finally had to replace my markers, and not insignificantly. Like I really had to lay out some cash to be able to get these markers. And let me just. So here we go. So this is what I'm going to be working on today. So when these campaigns, when Ego Raven and Oswald recently finished, I had all these sketch covers that I had to do, and the markers that I had at the moment were not going to cut it. So I had to literally like throw out entire sets, because they were done. They were finished, and I had to make a decision. And I had to make a really hard decision. So if you look back on my channel, I have a couple of videos where I recommend, or at least I try to recommend different markers that are not Copics, pretty much. Because the thing is, though, is that, like for the longest time, I really resisted using these markers, mostly because I don't know. I think I just have this like stupid thing where it's like if something's hyped a little too much, I get suspicious. That's why it takes me forever to watch TV shows and stuff like that, especially if it's really popular on the internet. And honestly, nothing I think could have, been more obsessed over than Copic markers on the internet. Now, for those of you who don't know, Copics, it is a let me see if I can do it. Yeah, so it is a Japanese brand of markers that I guess it's like I guess they were created specifically for mangaka artists there. And and of course it became all the rage here because if it's good enough for the Japanese, all the weebs online are going to go, it's good enough for us, right? So that's exactly what happened. So the thing is, though, is that because these markers are from Japan, and here's the thing, this is the thing that really, I guess, like that's the big deal, is the fact that they have like this, they have a brush tip, and they have an incredible array of shades. Like this has to be like the largest collection of shades that I have ever seen in any marker set, honestly. Um, you know, so the thing, so it's like, so you're able to like imitate a lot of stuff. Like some people say if you use the markers correctly, you can actually imitate watercolors with them. It's like, okay, fine. I mean, it's like, so of course all these kids online were using them. Everybody's using Copics and blah, 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 and whatever. The thing is, though, here's the thing, because they're imported, right? Where I can get a Prismacolor marker on sale for like $3, right? Copics, if you can even get them on sale, they're like $5 a pop, 5, 6. Some of them, I've seen some places sell them for $8 a marker. And and it's like, yeah, they're expensive. They are expensive. I mean, no, it's like, no, what's really funny is that Copics are also one of the most stolen things at anime conventions. I mean, it's like I have read so many blogs of artists who leave their markers behind at the convention halls, and then the next morning they're gone. I mean, it's like people are stealing these. People are stealing these from artists. So that's how bad it is. Yeah, it's like, I mean, you see, that's the thing. It's like they are expensive. I mean, just this is what, the 36 colors, right? When I finally broke down to buy these markers, just this one set was like $150, $130, $150. I kind of remember getting these on discount. So, but still, though, you're not paying less than $100 for these. So, so I was making all these videos, trying out all these other markers. Blick studio markers kind of was a thing for a while that worked for me for a little bit. But that would be nice. That would be nice if we can get a Copic coupon code, right? Right, yeah, and even then, because my usual go-to markers are Prismacolors, right? And what I found when I bought the Copic set to finally try them out and test them is that they actually are kind of nice. I do like the way the brush nib works. And so what, it's like, so I think we're at a point where it's like I could probably work on this, and because it's like, because now I want to start showing how it looks, while we're working. So let me just switch my camera. Hold on, let me see. Okay, so switching. All right, so there we go. So switching my camera. So okay, so we're at the table. So so this is the thing. So I usually use Prismacolors, and so Prismacolors don't have, well, or at least the standard ones that I use, they don't have a brush nib, and honestly, I don't like the Prismacolor brush nibs. They're a little too stiff, and they don't have the color range that kind of makes the brush nib worth it. It's like it's the blending kind of. So when I started using the Copic, it was kind of like I was using them com raiva, which is Portuguese for kind of like with a little bit of resentment. Um, and but the thing is, though, the more I used them, the more I kind of began getting it. Understanding like what it is that what's the big deal? Because, like I said, I've tried the Blick Studio markers. I tried the Artist Loft markers. It's like everyone wants to say they have their dupes, right? That it's like, oh, we're just like Copic, we're just like Copic. And honestly, I've gotten to a point where I've tried enough markers in the attempt of avoiding Copics that I've come to the conclusion, honestly, that there is no dupe. Um, this Copic really does have the superior brush nib. They really do. It's very soft. And also I think they have the superior ink as well. Um, they blend really well. They blend easily. I don't have to scrub like with Prismacolors. I have to scrub. With the Blicks, I kind of have to do the same thing. You kind of have to really, really push that ink to get it to blend. Um, for those of you curious, the absolute worst markers that I tried in my experiments um, is the Artist Loft, is the Michaels. I do not recommend them at all. They feel way too much like you might as well be using Crayolas, the Crayola markers, because they don't blend at all. The only way they blend is if you have enough color variation to give the illusion that you're blending, but you're not blending. It was the most obnoxious thing. I was very disappointed, only because the set was expensive. It's still, their basic set still cost me $80 to buy. So for the price of what so the Michaels markers were expensive. Were technically more expensive than Copics because I couldn't use them. They were really, really bad. So if you want pretty much my final say on which markers to get, or not to get, for that, do not buy those markers. Um, if you're looking for kind of a middle ground, if you're looking for a middle ground marker, Blick Studio markers are the only ones that I recommend. Um, they're okay. Um, they don't have the color variation. But if you kind of work them a bit, you can get them to do what you need them to do. But the thing is though, is that, yeah, it's like they all kind of like, if you want to get a proper, if you want to get like, yeah, you see, that's the thing. In the end, it's like that's was like, in the end. So when I had to replace so many markers at once, you see, and that's the thing, because it's like, even with the Blick Studio markers, you're still spending a couple of $100 to get the entire set. And it's not really a lot of markers compared to like what you can get out of Prismacolor, and definitely what you can get out of Copic. And yeah, and it's like, so I had the two campaigns, and I needed to do all these sketch covers, and I knew the markers, that the collection that I had wasn't gonna do. They were all on their last legs. I had to replace too many to go one by one. So I decided, okay, I'm just gonna have to throw everything out, and I'm going to have to buy a complete set. Now, and yeah, so I really had to sit down and think about it. It's like, okay, knowing what I know, it's like, where am I going to put this money? What are the markers? When shit comes to Shinola, what are the markers I'm going to need for this that is going to get me through coloring all these covers? And I had to bite the bullet, because I knew the answer was I had to buy a proper set of Copics. Copics, in the end, is so I use two markers. I have my set of Prismacolors that, because of the chisel tip, they're very good for backgrounds and larger areas. So and they blend really well. So I still use my Prismacolors, but they're for a very specific purpose. Oh, okay, Nita. So Nita has to split. So I'll talk to you tomorrow. So yeah, I mix. Yeah, so I'm just talking about this right now. I do mix and match. So what I found, that the best combination of markers for me are Prismacolor chisel tips with the Copic brush markers. So the brush markers is for where I want, like, what I'm doing now, where it's like when I really want that more detailed blending. And then the Prismacolors I use for backgrounds, because the chisel it's a really nice chisel. I really like it. It's kind of a blunt chisel, so you're really able to make really soft transitions into different colors, which is yeah, it really works for me with that. So let me try a different green for that. Let's see, what do we got? So let's see. You know what? I'm just gonna stick with. Let's see. Oh, I know what I'll do. Okay. So yeah, so that's what I do. I combine. I combine the two. So yeah. So in the end, so I had this money to spend that I had to spend, and I really had to make that decision which marker set was going to be worth that money. What was I going to get? I really had to make that worth it. I really, really did. And in the end, it turned out to be, yep, I'm going to have to buy Copics. So I spent about $360 for this set. This is the 72 set A set. And yeah, it's steep and it doesn't look like a lot of colors. But I think quality-wise, it's a better value for me for the amount of work that I'm doing. And the type of work that I do. So yeah, it's like, so what I'm also going to do at this point, now that I'm committed, I'm going to start investing in the refills. The refills are about the same price as buying a marker, but I read that you can get hella refills out of it. So, I have to, so it's like I have to make these markers worth it. So when certain colors run out, I will be looking to get the refills and taking advantage of that. Also, the thing with Copics is that, like, if the nibs get bad, I can replace those. So yeah, they're expensive, and honestly, I mean, if Japan ever decides, I know that they're supposed to be opening up their borders really soon, but it's still in very limited capacity to Americans. So we've talked about going to Japan, and honestly, when that happens, I am literally taking a suitcase just to fill it with markers. Because what's $6 to $8 here is $3 over there. So yeah, if I'm going to commit, I'm going to commit all the way. So it's like, so yeah, so that's, I and the thing is, though, it's like I said, it's a very resigned acceptance of this medium, I guess. It's like, of this marker, it's like, because it is expensive. I don't like having to spend that type of money. But the thing is, though, is that for the type of work that I do, I have to spend that money. So I was at EternalCon this past weekend, and I was sitting next to Ray Lago. He is a artist for Magic the Gathering. He's done a lot of Magic the Gathering cards and stuff, but he's worked for Dark Horse in DC. He's really known for his Predator paintings. For what is it? Yeah, that's exactly what it is, right? That's exactly what it is. And honestly, the only thing that I can do is, now that they expect every schlub that makes $1 to have to account for everything for taxes, they're gonna get written off. It's like, okay, we're deducting everything. It's like, that's all I can really. It literally is the cost of doing business. So, so Ray Lago is famous for his Predator paintings that he did for Dark Horse. But like lately, he's been doing Magic the Gathering cards. And I was overhearing a conversation that he was having. I forgot, the guy showed some artwork or whatever that was done with very simple tools. A ballpoint pen or something. I don't know. And it's like, yeah, it is, so the guy had made a comment about, oh, it really just goes to show you how it's the artist, not the tools. And Ray Lago kind of goes, the tools help. It's like he goes, I'm a tool guy. I like having the right tools. Um, and I found it to be a very interesting conversation, because it's like he was really stressed. It's like, yeah, it's like you can do whatever. If you're skilled enough, you can use whatever. I mean, I've seen people do full paintings with coffee. you know is it an appropriate medium? No, but if you're skilled enough, you can do that. But but here's the thing. It's like, if with that, the thing that Ray Lago kind of pointed out, it's like, yeah, but if you want to do a piece right, you need the right tools to do it. And I found it really funny, because usually when I hear professionals talk like that, they're the ones usually saying, it's like, oh yeah, it's like it's the artist, you can use whatever you want, and blah blah blah. And now there's professional grade, there's professional grade mediums for a reason. Um, Although ironically, Copic markers are not considered professional grade. That's the irony of it. Copic, yeah, and here's the thing too, for everybody who's looking at Copics, they're not archival, they're not color fast. So if you are doing so if you're buying Copics and you're doing pieces with Copics, everybody has to have the understanding that the pieces done in this medium needs to be taken care of properly for it to last. If you're going to frame it, you have to frame it with UV glass. You have to keep it out of sunlight. You have to hang it out of sunlight, the whole thing. I had a piece that I did that I kept on display because I liked it so much. And within 6 months, all of the colors faded. And it wasn't even in direct sunlight. It was just reflected sunlight from the original version of this room, where I had like yellowish walls. So it really, really reflected the light. I mean, the walls still reflect the light, but now it's like I have kind of like a lot of anti-glare stuff going on in here now. And and uh and yeah, and it completely faded. I had to put it away. And I was asking, so I was talking to Joe Lisner on Facebook, and he was showing how he was doing one of his paintings, and he was using Copics. And I had asked him, it's like, bro, it's like, do you have issues with that, with fading? And he says no, because he usually puts all his artwork away. They usually end up in a portfolio when they're done. He doesn't have anything out on display. And most of the people, I guess, like most of the people who buy his artwork, they buy it with that understanding that they have to take care of the piece for it to last. So so that's the thing. So that's the irony of it. So Ray Lago is talking about, it's like, no, I like professional grade mediums, but here I am using a product, using a marker that's not professional grade. That's not considered professional grade. And mind you, it's not just a Copic thing; it's an alcohol marker thing. Prismacolors are the same way. Um, So yeah, and and that's the thing, because it's like I see people, and yeah, it's like all these manga artists are using Copics to make their stuff. Um, so yeah, so if you're, so yeah, I watched another artist use Copics to do their convention sketches, and their convention sketches are not cheap. They were charging like $400 for like for Copic illustrations. And I'm like, I really do hope that the people spending that type of money on that piece understand that they have to take care of it. They have to take care of the piece, or within 6 months they're in for a rude awakening. um you know let's see here. Let's see. Oh wait, I keep forgetting not to do it on the laptop because there's a delay on it. Let's see. Yeah, it's like, yeah, that's true. That's true. Everything stays out of the sunlight. Right. Yeah. Especially. I mean, I think that's more for the backgrounds. I've never had an actual animation cell fade, but the backgrounds were a different issue. So yeah, I have a animation cell in my room right now, in this office right now, that really shouldn't be in here, but the background I had printed myself, so if that started fading I could replace it, so I'm not that concerned with it. But I really need to frame it properly and put it with the other one, which is in a stairway, um, that doesn't have direct sunlight at all in it. So regular fade, I'm not sure. That I'm not sure. I've never yet, like, on its own, like if you kept a piece in a portfolio and just left it there, would it fade on its own? I don't know. Um, I think that would also depend on the paper that you're using too and whatnot. So, um, what's funny is that I try not to get too wrapped up in it. Like, it's like I just do these things, and you know, and so here, I'm using the Prismacolor marker I'm using that chisel nib to really blend in um, these shades that I just put down. Because it's like, so I got the texture that I want. Um, but the Prismacolor, the chisel nib makes it easier to blend them out a little bit more. So I'm just kind of like just passing over. Just to kind of like, there we go, kind of like, get that, you know. Um, so yeah, so I don't, like, I think just enough, because it's like I'm not, like, if I was really that concerned about like the archival properties, I wouldn't be using markers at all. I would be using watercolors. I'd be, you know, I would be, using proper materials, I guess, because markers are usually used for like comp work. Like, that's when I first, back in high school, when I first started, learning about these materials, that's pretty much what Prismacolors were. It's like, architects use them, comp workers use them, where it's like they're not doing final pieces with them. They're just to get through, um, I guess, like roughs, pretty much, art roughs, before the final piece. But the final piece was never done with the markers. And I guess it just caught on. It's like other I guess like cartoonists just started using it. It's kind of like Photoshop. It's like the attention of Photoshop was to color comics on it, but now it's the go-to program for that. I remember seeing like some photographer getting his asshole tightened up because he didn't like the fact that people other than photographers were using Photoshop in the way that he felt, oh, Photoshop was not made for that. No, but Photoshop can do what we need. So it doesn't matter if that was the original intent. That wasn't the original intention. Um, I mean, it was so bratty, the thing from the photographer. It's like, oh, get over yourself type of thing. Okay, so color matching, they're close. Um, I mean, yeah, you can kind of. I mean, yeah, you would have to really play around with the colors, but they're close. They're close enough that I've used both markers for one color. It's Yeah, that wasn't. Yeah, that's not. I don't remember having an issue with that. But I think that in the end, it's like after using so many markers, um, that's why we're here now. Why it's like, okay, yeah, I need. So yeah, the go-to markers are going to be Copics and Prismacolors. That's it. Because yeah, for me, they work really well together, and yeah, I mean, and like I said, like for me, I mean, yeah, like I said, it really bothers me as to how expensive they are, Copics are. But the problem is that in the end, all of these materials are expensive. I mean, an entire set of Prismacolors would have cost me that $400. I mean, it's like no matter what, I was spending almost $400 on markers, no matter what, because I needed to. That's how many markers I needed. But the thing is, though, is that Prismacolors by themselves, I've already learned they they don't quite do what I need them to do. Like I really do need the Copics to balance them out. Um, so even though I technically got less markers for my money, they're technically a better value for me because I can get more out of them. I can get yeah, I can I can get more out of them in terms of how many sketch covers I can do, what how I can get them to look a certain way. Um, yeah, and the only thing that's just such a put off for me is the expense. But it's not like they're made in the United States. I mean, these things are made in Japan, they're imported over, we know the whole deal. I mean, and this is before supply chain issues. Although it's funny, I remember a couple of years ago, so many people were buying Copics that there was an actual shortage. Like it was literally like they couldn't keep up with orders. Um, yeah, it was yeah. So that's my only thing. But honestly, I think that that's more my cheap nature complaining rather than I don't think this is worth it, type of thing. Um, so let me see. Well, it's like, oh yeah, it's like just do a mark. Yeah, just do monochrome. Just do monochrome, which I have done. Which I have done. I think honestly, I think the second set that I bought from Copic was the grayscale markers. Was all the grades. And I was doing monochrome covers with with the like, and then using the Prismacolors to tint on top of. It was an interesting experiment. Yeah, so it's like, so yeah, so if you wanted to kind of like figure out a way to make the markers last longer, it's like, yeah, so yeah, that, so yeah, like I said, so what I was doing, so I would use the Copics to do the piece in black and white, or whatever monochrome, like there's the warm grays or whatnot. So I would do the piece in monochrome. And which is a good way to learn values, by the way, because if you can get your piece to look really, really good with one color, it means you're using that color correctly. You're using your shading correctly. So that's actually a pretty good thing to do if you really want to learn contrast. You know. So yeah, so that's a trick that you can. So if you want to use Copics, but you know you can't, you can only do it a little at a time. That's something to consider. Is using, it's like learning to use tones, and contrast, and then using your other markers to tint on top of it, so you can kind of like get that color. The only thing that that I kind of didn't like about it is, like, of course, because you have a gray undertone on everything. The colors, when you finally add color, it's not as bright. But like I said, it's an experimental thing. Another thing that you can do to kind of like, I guess, if it's like, if you could only buy sets, like a small set, like for the longest time, I was coloring with just these colors, and what it is that, you just teach yourself to limit your colors, to limit your color palette, so that you don't need 50 shades of pink. It's like, it's like, I'm using like the same green, on as many parts as I can. Let's see. Well, yeah, you see, but that's not. Yeah, you see, that's the thing. That's not what Ray Lago was talking about. Because yeah, there's too many amateur artists who think that if they buy Copics, it automatically makes them a better artist. When that couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah, it's like, when reality sets in and you realize it's your effort and less your tools. Yes, I mean, it's like, no, that is true. That is very, very true. I mean, just because, and that's the thing, and that's kind of what the conversation was. Although it wasn't a conversation with amateurs, it was a conversation between professionals. The guy he was talking to, I mean, worked with Neil Adams. So yeah, this wasn't a scrub that he was talking to. So what? Yeah. So what Ray Lago was talking about was that he likes the tools that he's at. Like he knows he has the skill set, but he prefer using the right tools is easier for him, because he knows the better the tool, the more control he has over it, as opposed to like using, like I said, using the Michaels markers was a lot more difficult than using the Copic markers, which meant that in the long run, those Michaels markers were more expensive than the Copics, because not only were they difficult to work with, they weren't even worth the money that I spent on them, just to even try them out. So, so when you're at a certain level, you do, it's like the tool. Yeah, it's like I would rather, and in the end, that was a decision I had to make. That in the end, I was at a point where I needed to spend the money and get better markers. The Michaels brand was not going to cut it. The Blick markers were not going to cut it. I had to get the real thing. And think about it. I wasted, for the amount of money that I wasted on all these dupes to avoid using Copics, and in the end I had to I had to go back to Copics anyway. So in the end, are Copics really that expensive if that's the trajectory? So oh yeah, it's like 6 colors. Yeah. 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 And hello, Michael San Martino. Hello. Yeah, well, there's this woman that I watch. What was her name? Christine something. Oh, I forgot. The from the mind of Christine McConnell? No, that's a politician, I think. It's like, well, Christine something, from the mind of Christine something. And when she paints, she always gets red, blue, yellow. What's the primary? Red, blue, yellow, black? No, that's CMYK. The basic colors. It's like, and then whatever color she needs, she mixes from there. Look at me. It's like sucking at color theory. I'm pretending to be a professional here, and I can't even tell you the basic primary colors right now. It's red, yellow, and blue. But I think I'm confusing it with print with CMYK, which is 4 colors. So, which is cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. So yeah, so primary colors are red, yellow, would be red, yellow, and blue. And that's like, yeah. So she would, so all her colors she would mix from those 3. That's it. So all technically she needed was 3 colors. Let's see, what am I on? So yeah, so that's a way, to right. So yeah, so the thing, so the thing is that, so that's what he was talking about, that it's like the right tools just makes it easier. It's like, yeah, you can hammer a nail with a brick, but wouldn't it be nicer to use a hammer instead? And then it's like, and then there's the whole discussion about whether, you use, which is better, the hammer you buy at the 99-cent store, or or a Black & Decker hammer you buy at Home Depot. I mean, I'm sure that there are differences. It's probably in the way that the hammers are made, and the quality, and how long they last, and whatnot. It's like you get to all these different levels. It's like I just realized, it's like I had my thing set up to play music, and I forgot to turn on the music. So let me turn on the music, and just to have something in the background, for all that dead air that sometimes pops up. So as usual, everybody tell me if it's a little too loud. Let's see. I can barely hear it on my end, so I'm going to raise it up a bit. I just wanted enough to be in the background so that just so that there's something in the background when we have, those awkward pauses. So just tell me if it's a little too loud. I can barely hear it in my headset, so I'm thinking it's okay. So, we'll play it by ear. Haha. Okay. Thank you, Haslam Productions. yeah, so it was a very interesting conversation to eavesdrop on, because usually, what I hear is like, oh yes, it's like, artists, if you know how to use a tool, you can use anything, ha ha ha, and that's, that's pretty much the, you know that's pretty much the conversation. So it was just really funny to hear Ray Lago goes, nah, I like the tools. I'm a tool guy, you know. Oh, hello, Rodney. So Hasm is being represented by Rodney today. Welcome, welcome. So yeah, but yeah, so here I am with my expensive markers. you know, um, but at least, you know what it is. It's like once I bit the bullet, it's like, okay, fine, it's done. Let me get to work. In the end, that's what it boils down to. Let's see. But yeah, but I really do like the feel of the nibs, though. Honestly, I think if there was like one thing that really makes it stand apart from the other markers, is the feel of the nib. It really does feel like a brush, and I do like here we go. Like you see, like this marker is obviously running out. So where before I would just buy another marker, now it's like, I know, okay, I have to get the refill for. I'm going to get the refill for this. The only thing though is that, I mean, I think Blick seems to have all the refills, so I'm not that worried about being able to replace them. Yeah, you see the difference a fresh marker makes. Look at that. Yeah. That was my only concern, is that a lot of places they would have all the markers, but only a fraction of the refills. So yeah, so I'm hoping that I kind of remember Blick, I think, having most of the colors. So I'm not going to worry too much. So I'm just gonna blend this out. So see that these colors work better together. So I'm gonna just go over and then go back to that other brown to blend them all in. Oh yeah, much better. Well, okay. So, how often am I refilling? You know what? I don't know. I'm going to be finding out soon with this. Like I said before, I would just replace the markers, but yeah, it now it's like with everything, it's going to be like, okay, so I just have to start collecting the refills, and yeah, so that's something I'm going to have to get back to you on, because I don't have an accurate idea. I don't have an idea for that yet. Like how, yeah, like how many times do I have to refill? Well, let's see. So what usually happens? Okay, so I guess the closest would be, when would I have to replace? When do I usually find myself replacing markers? Definitely after a sketch cover campaign. Which probably, I think, when, let's see, because usually with the markers that I was using before, probably around, like, I could do maybe almost 20 sketch covers before I really had to replace the markers. I think that that's kind of the only assessment that's kind of the only assessment that I have, is that I could get probably 20 sketch covers out before I really have to buy more markers. And mind you, I'm squeezing every drop out of these things. I even do the trick where, if your marker starts to dry out, if you add alcohol if you refill it with alcohol, it kind of gets all those dry spots in there and kind of like gets you more pigment. So I really push it with the markers. Like I said, they're expensive enough. Hold on. Okay, usually there's two. Okay, so let me see. Have I ever looked into buying Copics off of Japan Amazon? Oh, no, I haven't, but I kind of don't think. Then again, I've never tried. Although navigating a Japanese site is extremely intimidating. Like, I've done it for French books. I've done it on Amazon France, but you can kind of fake your way through French. But thank you. Yeah. I don't know. The idea of trying to finagle a Japanese site is kind of, I don't know about that. I could check, but I don't know. See, because the thing is, though, because I don't have, I would think that I would need Amazon Prime. Oh, okay. For Japan, for the Japan site, which I don't have, because I went to send out. So I had this package get returned to me from Germany, and what happened was that they didn't. They did. Hold on. Let me just take care of something. Hold on. Okay, technically I should be muting it. Like, you guys didn't need to hear me blow my nose, but I got too much stuff going on here and I don't know which button to press anymore. So what was it? Oh yeah, so I had this package get returned from Germany. What happened was that it reached its destination, but I guess the post office there didn't notify the person that they had a package waiting for them. So it never got delivered, so he didn't pick it up, so they sent it back. So, I contacted the guy and it says, oh, you just have to pay for shipping again, and I'll send it out. And he had ordered, he had supported another campaign, so I combined the campaign with it. It was a whole thing, right? So I was like, wait, okay, so let me use something else rather than the post office, because he was saying, oh, maybe use DHL or something. So I went to DHL this morning, and it's like, so I guess they were having a problem with the website, and they go, oh, we'll send it FedEx, it's the same price. And I go, well, what's the price? FedEx for a box like this, it was like 9 by 12 by, it was like, well, it's a small box, and it wasn't that heavy. They wanted $400 to ship that box. FedEx, that was the FedEx price, $400. And then it says, oh, but DHL wanted like 200 and something, 280 for it. And then the guy goes, I said, oh, but I'll give you a discount. And he says, I'll ship the package for you, DHL. I'll give you the DHL price discount at $180. And I go, no, absolutely not. So it's like, so yeah, so I don't know. It's like, I don't know what shipping overseas coming to the United States would be like. So I would think that if I tried to buy something off of a Japanese site, the shipping would probably kill whatever I was trying to save on it. In the end, I ended up using UPS for $60 for 3-day delivery. So I'm hoping that he gets his package fine. But holy crap, $400 for a box of comics? I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, something told me I should have checked FedEx first. But yeah, international shipping is just crazy. Yeah. Oh, so the chair. Actually, I mean, mind you, this chair is an improvement from what I had before. Although there are certain times I do miss. I had a saddle chair before. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, they're my comics, but I'm not spending, $400 to ship them. The guy didn't pay $400 for shipping, so I'm not spending $400 to ship them. So this chair is an improvement, but like there's certain things. So the chair I had before was a saddle chair, and it's the chair that you see at dentist's office or whatnot. It's just the seat, and there's no armrests or anything. Which honestly, I kind of miss that because of the amount of space that I have here. And also, it was very adjustable. I mean, I can make that chair really, really tall, really, really low. I mean, I still have the chair, but it's downstairs now. So, but the problem is that my back, I was having a lot of problems, especially with. I mean, I still kind of have problems, but at least when my neck starts acting up, I can kind of, I can sit like this and I can work like this, maybe not for artwork because obviously it doesn't quite, but when I'm like digitally coloring and, or writing or whatnot, that, I can sit like this and keep my back. 'Cause I have like lumbar support here too. Although I needed a booster cushion because the seat is actually really low. It doesn't go up very high. So it's perfect when I'm in front of the computer, but it's awful for the drawing desk because I just needed a couple of more inches up. I mean, even now, I can, you know, it's like if I could get it a little bit higher, I wish I could, but it doesn't. Which I was able to do that with the saddle chair. So, yeah, like it's perfect for the computer desk, but not so much for the drawing desk. So, so I'm gonna do that corner there. You know, and also the thing is that I really don't like about the racer chair is it's awful on carpet, and I have a rug underneath me because it, you know, I need to have a rug underneath me, and the chair the wheels of the chair resists it so much. I was thinking of getting those rollerblade wheels that they have for chairs now, and maybe switching them out and hoping that that kind of like improves it a bit. But the reviews that I keep reading say that it's like, oh, it's kind of the same thing, and I don't know. So I haven't. Yeah, if there was honestly, it's like, and sometimes the armrests get in the way. But like I said, at the same time though, I really like being able to lean back. You know, so. Well, you know what's funny is that because sometimes when I'm leaning back like this, I do feel like Stephen Hawking. You know? It's like, yeah, it's like no, I really do. It's like but the thing is though, it's better. It's better for me because I'm able to do this. And it's and also like when I'm on some streams where I'm not drawing or anything, it's nice to be able to kind of sit back and get that support. But no, it's more of an installation issue than it is. It's like then because I don't have so the floor that I'm on is kind of is like stone, so the carpet helps with insulation because it gets cold. I mean, although funny, it's like on a day like this, you would think I would prefer that, but it's like I kind of like I prefer like taking my shoes off and having my feet on the carpet rather than on the stone. So if all I had to do was remove the carpet and the chair is fine. But that's kind of, I mean, it's always a trade-off for something. It's like, I had the opportunity to redo this office in a way that was most efficient for me, and there's always something that's not going to work that I have to trade off. It's like, I traded adjustability and the freedom of not having a back and the arms on the chair for the fact that for being able to lean back and have the lumbar support and the neck support. It's like, also the saddle chair was easier on the carpet than this thing is. So it's, no matter what, there's always a trade-off for something. So I just got to deal with it, it's not like this chair was cheap, it's like this, but I've had actual cheap chairs that were, again, it's like sometimes just because something is inexpensive doesn't mean it's worth the money. That's the thing, it's like, if there was, honestly, if this chair could adjust higher, I would prefer that over the wheels, over the wheels being funky on a carpet. So yeah, like I said, everything's always a trade-off. Same thing with the Copics. The trade-off is that I'm spending hella money per marker, but I'm getting better results and longer lasting results. Like these markers last a while. I mean, that's the thing. They really do. I think out of like all of the other markers, like the Copics have like the longest use life before they have to be refilled. So, that's what I, that's also a benefit too. It's like, sometimes you got to spend the money, to not have to, you have to spend a lot of money at once, which is not practical for a lot of people. I get that. It's like, I don't know. You know what? I just had to break down and do it. I mean, that's, had to buy the chair, had to buy the Copic markers. It's like, it's the tools. It's, in my case, in these particular instances, it's the tools. I mean, because when my office was under construction, I had to use a dining room chair. And honestly, it's like that thing killed me, using a dining room chair. I mean, it's like the back issues that I ended up just by having to work in a dining room chair took forever for it to go away. So yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah, so these covers are part of let's see, the screaming carrot. Okay, yes, the screaming carrot. Yes, that's King of the Carrots. Yes, it's a combination of, well, just the fact that a flaming carrot, because he has a little flaming crown. And also the carrot from Cuphead, one of the levels on Cuphead, when you're in the garden and you have to fight the onion, the potato, and the psychic carrot. So that it was a combination of that. So. So yeah, so these, I'm just looking forward to getting these Kickstarter covers out of the way, because I have, it's like, you heard my list. I got a lot going on, and I really like crossing out stuff on my to-do list. I mean, yesterday when I got to cross off the article for Glenn for his magazine, I was really happy with that, because not that I was procrastinating on it. I actually had the article done. It's just that, I just wanted to finish things. So I was happy to cross that off my list. I'm really happy that I was able to cross the first 8 issues of the color corrections off my list. Yeah, that I'm really happy with. It's kind of dumb. When I got the flats back for that issue last year, there's the first 2 pages really, really intimidated me for some reason. And I ended up procrastinating because of that. Because of it. I don't know. It's like, for some reason, I had hyped up those pages in my head in a way that's like, oh my God, it's like, I'm going to have to take time on it and yada, yada, to do it properly. And then when I finally went to correct the flats, this is why I pay for a flatter. They had separated out everything so well. I had that page done in not even a half hour. I was able to just play around with the colors that I needed. Everything fell into place, tweak it a bit, and then I was done. Those 2 pages, and I got so angry at myself because I was like, God damn it, I could have had a proof of this book already. You know, I could have I could have adjusted all the colors, you know, color corrected it last year when I got the pages and gotten it over with. You know, but you know, it's like, look, that's not what happened. You know, I let bullshit in my head get in the way, and but you know, I'm getting through it now. That's the important part. You know, I'm getting through it. You know, the pages are looking really nice. I'm really, really looking forward to what the next issues are looking like, because 6 and 7 are going to be the first brand new issues. Although I had the layouts done since 2017, you know, so I had, you know, I had penciled it. So these will technically be the first new issues. Issue 8 is going to be the first completely new issue that I've done on this series since I started. And it's just like, that's why I'm going into novels. That's why I'm going into novels. You know? Yeah, that's exactly. That's kind of how I felt. It's like, damn it, you know, I could have had this done. You know, and yes, and that's what it is. Sometimes it gets in the way. And, you know, it's kind of like that meme where it's like, oh, you put off a thing for 6 months only to find out that it took 15 minutes to do when you finally did it. You know, it's like that. You know, and yeah, it's just, you know, it's just kind of getting over that. You know. Yeah, and I just have to get that one page of the Eagle and Oswald crossover. And you see, the thing is, though, technically that page is half colored. There's a panel on it that I was able to just that I just went ahead and inked and colored. So I just need to do. There were like these panels that I had to wait on for some information to be able to do them. So. Now she's getting through those panels, and then inking and coloring them, and then that story is done. So I'm kind of so June is the month of almost done. That's kind of the theme of July. We're in July, not June. July, Jesus. The almost done one. You know. Hey, Lucky Neko. Hello there. Welcome. You know, we're just you're, you know, it's like, so yeah, we're just hitting almost the end here. I'm working on all these sketch covers at the same time. You know, also the thing is, though, by doing this, also this helps limit my color palette. So again, I'm not using, you know, I'm not going crazy trying to think too hard about color. It's like okay, so this is, you know, these are all green and these are all the same browns on different covers, you know. And also it gives me a feeling that I'm getting more done. I mean, because it's like, instead of doing covers one at a time, it just feels like, oh, okay, I'm seeing all this work, all this progress. You know, again, getting over the you know, getting over the BS that gets in the way, you know. So it's like, so I'm giving myself the kind of the illusion that there's more done, even though technically I have 4 unfinished covers as opposed to like maybe 1 finished one, but you know, it works out. It works out. Let's see. Yeah, we had an okay 4th of July. We're not the type of people to do anything. So we didn't. We just stayed in and worked pretty much. It's yeah. Although our neighbors were doing a lot of fireworks, so I was like watching from there. Although because they're literally next door, there came a point where I had to close the windows because even though the parrot really likes the explosions, there comes a point where they're a little too loud and they start startling him. So I have to start closing everything. So the cat, the cat just goes hiding. You know, if he even hears the slightest noise that upsets him. So he was already under the bed. You know? Let's see. What do we got here? What's my lightest? Okay, let's try this. I prefer something a little bit more brown. What I got? Oh, maybe this. Oh, yeah, okay. Pinky. Let's see. Oh, how about the one literally called Sad? I like the texture that the nibs are giving me. It's kind of like the soil texture that I'm going for. So that really works out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to like just kind of work this cover a little bit, and then let's see what we got. What do we got? There we go. There we go. So you see how like it kind of blends, that the Prismacolor blends everything nicely together. That's what I like. You know, and that's why I don't stick with just one marker. But yeah, but it's also getting to the point too that I have so many Prismacolors to replace that that's probably the next set that that it's just it'll that I'm just gonna have to break down and get. You know, right now it's like, you know, because I'm just you know, I'm just using it for blending, so it's not dire right now where I really needed the Copic. So I don't know. Let's see how this next Kickstarter does. Maybe I'll treat myself to a set of Prismacolor markers. Um, you know, because whenever I finish a Kickstarter, I like to get myself something from it to kind of like, you know, oh, this is, you know, this is for all the hard work, you know. Um, so yeah, so yeah, so when you support a Kickstarter of mine, you are helping me keep in art supplies and markers so I can do more sketch covers for the Kickstarters to buy more art supplies. You know? So let's see. Okay, that looks good. That looks good. So let's see. I think, yeah, let me just, okay, so let me just continue with this one. I do have to admit, I really like this carrot one, because it's like you have this carrot, he's king of the carrots, you see. I mean, it's like he's king of the carrots and he's screaming about it. So obviously, you know, he might be like possessed or something. He's, you know, there's something wrong with him and he's screaming and, you know, and, you know, I don't know, he's demanding something. And Oswald is just like, what's wrong with you? And obviously there's something about this crown that he's wearing. That's like, oh, there's something about this crown that's it's possessing the king of the carrots and making him act all, ridiculous, you know, because being king of the carrots is a serious job, you know, and you know you can't be king of the carrots and be all this screaming hot mess, you know. Um, you know, you have to take your job seriously. So yeah, I think I think out of these covers and this one, yeah, this one I think is my. But I don't know, King of the Worms too. I think is just pretty good too. Um, yeah, no, Joe, exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking when I drew him. I based him on the. It was like it was Flaming Carrot. That was JD's idea because I asked him to name me a king. He goes, I need a king of something. Give me a king. And because like yeah, it's like sometimes I run with themes. So here we have King of the Mushrooms, right? We have King of the Worms, and Jose and JD said, oh, he's a carrot. He's king of the carrots. And I go, okay, well, we'll do king of the carrots. And so he goes, you know, so make his crown flaming because, you know, kind of like flaming carrot. And then also it reminded me of the boss from Cuphead. He has an actual name, but it's the psychic carrot. Yeah. It's like, obviously, you know the game. So, yeah. So, but yeah, that definitely was on purpose. So. Yeah, so all the little kings here, you know, they're all pretty good, you know. But honestly, it's a toss up between King of the Worms and King of the Carrots. Although King of the Mushrooms is pretty good. Yeah. He's very small. So let's see. So we're pretty much almost finished with this here. So let's get our Prismacolors. So we can blend in. Yeah, but you see the difference with the Prismacolors, how it's like they're able to cover more without a lot of effort. Although, as you can see, you can tell too that these markers are going to be, they're running out. They're running out here. So, yes, the flaming carrot connection. What is purpose? Yeah, it's supposed to be there. Yes, that's why the flaming crown. So. So yeah, so as you can see, I'm using the Prismacolors to really blend in the Copics, and also that the Prismacolors cover a lot more area without me having to kind of like wreck the nibs on the Copic markers. So so having two sets of markers like this is also another way to make your markers last longer, because you're switching between them for whatever, to accomplish different things. I mean, it's like, like I said, these markers cost enough as is. So whatever it takes to get them to last, that's what you do. Okay, so I think I'm pretty okay. So I'm good with that. Yeah, I like the way that texturing came out. So here we go. So here we are. So so here we are. So these are the 4 covers so far. I will, of course, be continuing to work on them after the show. So after the stream. So okay. So let me switch over my camera again. There we go. So as you can see, look at how much effort I have to put into rolling this thing. I mean, that's yeah, it's like yeah. So the wheels, the wheels are not my favorite, But but in the end, the wheels are probably the easier thing for me to change on this chair, because it's not. I can't adjust the height. So here we go. So here are the sketch covers so far. So, if you're one of the people. If you're one of the people watching and you're waiting for sketch covers, okay, here they are. They're in process. They're in the process. So there we go. So we're going to shut off that music. And okay, so there we go. So here we are. So let's see. Okay. And there you have it. So I got to talk a bit about my markers and tools and Ray Lago, and and you get to see some sketch covers being done and whatnot. So that's so there we go. Full 2 hours. I think it went really well. I really did think I accomplished a lot. Yeah, there you go. I mean, sometimes I can do that on oh, hold on. What am I doing here? Okay, hold on. Yeah, sometimes I can do that on on a stream, right? We can actually get work done. So on that note, here we are at the end of all things, at least for this Wednesday. Yeah, so that's it. So thank you very much. Thank you everybody in the chat for keeping it lively. I swear to God, you guys rock it every time I have a chat, whether it's on Ragin, or whether it's here. You guys are always rocking it. Thank you so much. You're keeping, it's like you keep me from being completely distracted, I guess. You keep me motivated to work, to work on these things and to keep pushing forward. So, so thank you so much for the conversation, for joining me in this 2 hours. You could have been anywhere else, but you decided to spend it here with me. Thank you so much. And for the 6 mystery viewers who are watching, I see you. I see you. I know. I know you're probably a little shy and you don't want to come over to the chat, but that's okay. Like I said, it's like, you could have been anywhere else, so you could have been watching anything else for the past 2 hours, and instead you're watching me draw some goofy vegetable kings and things over here uh, on these sketch covers, and I'm really glad that you enjoyed what I was doing enough to stay the whole 2 hours. So thank you so much for that. Um, and so if you want to see more, you want to see more, you want to learn more about me and my artwork, you can head on over to my main portfolio site at egoworks.com, EGOWORKS. Hold on, let me just set this up here. And where you can find links to all of my social media sites, and you can see my galleries and the whole thing. Although my main social media sites are right here, although I mostly post to Facebook. If you are into seeing sketches and current work in progress and whatever news that I have concerning some upcoming campaigns and whatnot. And you could also check out my channel here on YouTube, Daphne Lage Art. And you can check out my shows on the Rage and 2 network that I do with Nita Lanning. So make sure that you subscribe and like and share out that, and hit the notification bell. All the things that the algorithm loves, and helps spread the word about all these videos and live streams and whatnot. So while you're at my main site at egoworks.com, you can read the first 5 issues of Ego Raven, Heir of the First Unicorn, in its original black and white format, which I will be discontinuing at the end of the year when issue 5 is released. So if you want to see the big difference between the black and white version and the new color Kickstarter version, or even if you just want to check out the series and get a feel for it, so that when the campaign goes live for the volume 1, for a fact this is something that you want to read. The differences are slight between the two in terms of story. I did change some dialogue, and of course it's in color, but pretty much the story that you see on the site is the story you're going to get in the Kickstarter campaign. So that's a way to try out Ego Raven for free. Because hey, why not, right? But if you're in the mood for more of for your fantasy to be more of like a Lord of the Rings type of story, you can follow the link to Tall Tales, TAILS online.com. And you can read the first 20 issues of Tall Tales for free. Yes, the same 20 issues that are being collected right now on Kickstarter in its last 6 days on Kickstarter. You can check it out online and then head on over to the Kickstarter and pick up some nice paperback versions that you can read at your leisure without having to worry about your screen, staring at a screen all day. So check that out. So again, I'd like to thank everybody for joining me today, and I will be back next week with another live stream where I'm probably going to give you a recap as to how the campaign went. Tall Tales ends at around 11:30 a.m. next Wednesday. So on the live stream, we could talk about what I learned, what all the lessons that I learned on that campaign. Because like I said, there's some changes coming. So let's see what happens, right? So you can check me there. Also, remember, I will be back tomorrow with Nita on the Rage and 2 network on, no, not tomorrow, it's Thursday. Friday. I will be back on Friday with Nita at 11 a.m. Eastern. So you can check that out as well. So on that note, I want to thank everybody again for joining me. I'm happy that you liked enough to watch the entire 2 hours. I can't thank you enough for that. I mean, you guys helped make this easy. So thanks again. And I will see you on the next live stream. So thanks again. Bye.
Hi everyone, Daphne Lage here. Join Nita Lanning and me on the Ragin' to the Vlogs show, where we talk about everything, nothing, and all the bits in between. Looking for hour-long conversations about indie comics, social media marketing, and crowdfunding, with the occasional rant and story time? Head on over to the Ragin' 2 channel on YouTube, Mondays through Fridays at 11 a.m. Eastern to join in the chat.